The streetlights hum in a way you only notice when the world goes quiet. It's 2 a.m. You're sitting in your car, or perhaps at a kitchen table cluttered with bills and half-empty coffee cups, staring at a screen that tells you everyone else is winning. You see the highlight reels, the day in the life of a millionaire, the frantic posting of someone crushing it. There is a pressure, heavy and constant, telling you that if you aren't seen, you don't exist. If you aren't announcing your progress, you aren't making any. But as you sit there in the silence, a cold realization settles in. You've been loud for years. You've told people your goals. You've posted the gym photos and the coming soon projects. And yet here you are in the same seat, with the same bank balance, feeling the same hollow exhaustion. You realize that your energy hasn't been going toward building a life. It's been leaking out through the holes of social validation. Every time you told someone what you were going to do, you felt a tiny hit of dopamine that convinced your brain you had already done it. Master your mindset and reclaim your power. Subscribe now to join a community dedicated to silent growth and strategic authority. This is the psychological trap of the visible life. We mistake the applause for the finish line. We think being seen is the same as becoming dangerous. It isn't. Power does not move in public. Transformation does not happen under observation. The people who truly change their fate do it where no one is watching. The illusion of visibility. Consider the life of a typical professional in their 40s. David is reliable. Everyone knows what David is doing because David tells them. He's the first to complain about the economy at dinner and the first to share a hustle quote on LinkedIn. David feels like he's working hard because he's constantly reacting to the noise. But David is legible. He is predictable because his patterns are public. He is easily managed by his boss, his peers, and even his own habits. Niccolò Machiavelli, the master of political strategy, understood this centuries before the first digital footprint was ever tracked. He observed that men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Everyone can see appearances, but few can feel what is real. Most people live their entire lives as appearances. They are legible to the system. When you are visible, you are vulnerable. Visibility creates patterns, and patterns create points of exploitation. When you announce your move before you make it, you give the world a chance to position against you. Or worse, a chance to talk you out of it. Predators in the wild don't growl before they strike. They disappear into the tall grass. In the modern economy, your tall grass is silence. The psychology of the void. When you decide to disappear, to stop posting, stop explaining, and stop seeking the likes of people you don't even respect, something unsettling happens. The noise drops. The external pressure to maintain a specific identity begins to fade. Psychologically, this creates a vacuum. Humans hate voids. We are wired to fill them with assumptions. When you go quiet, people will assume you failed. They'll assume you've given up or lost your way. Machiavelli wrote that a wise ruler must learn how not to be good and how not to appear as he truly is. Underestimation is the ultimate protection. While they are busy filing you away as a has-been, you are free to dismantle the version of yourself that kept you small. Your current identity is not accidental. It was shaped by the expectations of your neighbors, the criticisms of your parents, and the compromises you made to fit in. To come back unrecognizable, that version of you has to die, but it cannot die in public. If you try to change while people are watching, they will constantly remind you of who you used to be. They will pull you back into your old roles because your change makes them uncomfortable. The deep restructuring. This withdrawal is not an escape. It is a repositioning. Most people think change is about addition, adding a new habit or a new side hustle. But the real work of the disappearance phase is subtraction. It's about cutting behaviors, cutting access, and cutting stimuli. In the silence of 2026, the goal is to gain control over your inputs. When you aren't reacting to a news cycle or a friend's vacation photos, your mind stabilizes, your focus sharpens, strategy begins to replace impulse. You stop moving emotionally and start moving deliberately. This is the hardest part. Feels lonely. There is no applause. There is no external signal that you are doing it right. This is why the masses fail. They cannot tolerate the absence of feedback. They rush back to visibility because visibility gives them a sense of existence. But existence is not power. Power is the ability to wait without panic. It is the discipline to build a foundation, so solid that by the time people notice the building, the roof is already on. The power of unreadability. As the months pass in silence, your internal chemistry shifts. You stop arguing. You stop trying to convince people of your worth. This isn't because you've lost your voice. It's because you no longer need their confirmation. You are becoming unreadable. An unreadable person is a dangerous variable in any system. When you have no emotional tells and no obvious trajectory, people cannot predict your moves. They cannot manipulate what they do not understand. Information begins to flow toward you because you are still. Silence forces others to fill the space. And in their rambling, they reveal their hands, their fears, and their intentions. While the world is broadcasting its every thought, you are studying leverage. You are refining skills away from the scrutiny of critics. You are not improving to be praised. You are improving to be effective. The calculated return. The return is not a reveal party. It is not a dramatic announcement. It is a quiet, controlled re-entry into the world. You don't return when you feel ready. You return when the outcome is already decided. When you finally step back into view, you don't need to explain where you've been. You let your results speak. You let your new level of competence create its own gravity. People will sense the shift before they can articulate it. They will notice that your words carry more weight because you don't waste them. They will see that your presence feels different because you are no longer seeking anything from them. This is the difference between visibility and authority. Authority does not chase attention. Attention moves toward authority. Machiavelli noted that men are quick to admire what is distant and slow to value what is familiar. By disappearing, you killed the familiar version of yourself. You created distance, and in that distance, you created mystique. We move through 2026. The gap between the visible and the powerful will only widen. The people who stayed loud remained legible. Their limits are obvious. They are easy to compete with because they've shown their entire hand. You, however, are the variable they didn't account for. You are the one who didn't participate in the noise. You didn't leak your intentions. You built in the dark, and now you move with a precision that others mistake for luck. You have realized that life isn't about being seen, it's about being positioned. You no longer mistake exposure for opportunity. You understand that the strongest shifts are noticed only after they have already happened. You have become someone who does not need to be seen to move. The final separation. The question is never whether this path works. History is littered with the names of those who withdrew to conquer. The question is whether you have the coldness and the patience to be forgotten for a while. Most people will choose the noise. They will stay reactive and legible until the day they retire, wondering why they never quite broke through. They will keep managing their perception instead of building their reality. But for the few who can tolerate the silence, the reward is a type of sovereignty the masses will never taste. You are no longer a character in someone else's script. You are the architect. You disappeared not to hide but to align. And now that you are aligned, the world has no choice but to respond to you. The dopamine of declaration. Telling people your financial goals provides a premature sense of accomplishment, which actually reduces your motivation to execute the hard work required to reach them. Legibility is liability. The more the system understands your spending habits, emotional triggers, and social needs, the more easily it can keep you in a cycle of consumption and debt, scarcity and value. Constant availability devalues your time and your insights, selective presence and guarded information. Increase your leverage in negotiations and professional relationships, devoid of validation. Real financial growth often happens during boring periods of consistency that offer no social rewards. Learning to thrive without applause is a prerequisite for wealth.